I'm gonna just kind of run around all over the place, have the camera going up and stuff. And the reason I'm doing this is because normally on a shoot, you're gonna be moving around. Wow, the things I do for YouTube. Welcome back to the channel. I'm Peter Mokri, a Dallas-based DP and gaffer. In today's video, we're focusing on the EasyRig MiniMax with Stabil arm, how it differs from the standard MiniMax. I'm also going to put it to the test, going handheld, locked off like it's a MiniMax, and then engaging the Stabil arm and seeing if it really makes a difference. Let's get into it. So this is the EasyRig. It's the EasyRig MiniMax with Stabil arm. So this is the case that it comes with. We're gonna pop this guy right out, show you what it looks like. I did attach a little bag to it, but that's just an add-on I did. It's really compact on how it travels. It's about this small. This is designed for smaller setups. So we are going to assemble it, and it has three kind of sections that it comes together from. And then I will unbuckle it, I buckle it to stow it away. Makes it easier, everything goes where it needs to. This sometimes pops out if you yank it like that, but no big deal. You slip it on like this. You get it tightened across your chest and then across your waist. Compared to the bigger EasyRigs, the bigger EasyRigs have a lot more padding for this section. What's really important is you don't want there to be a gap back here. So on your backside, you don't want it to do this. If you're doing this with the EasyRig and it's going out like this, it is not working properly. And I see that all the time where there's a giant gap like this. That is not how you use the EasyRig. You want to make sure it's snug and tight against your back, and that will put pressure on your waist or your gut like me. So that's just one of those things. And when you're using the EasyRig, you want to try to keep a straight posture. You don't want to lean like this the whole time because it almost defeats the purpose. So if you can, keep a good posture. So I have the quick release. You see this here. This is the EasyRig quick release system. It's really nice because it's not adding any more bulk to your rig. So we have my rig right here. This is my FX6. And what it has a little nipple that attaches to your top rail or wherever your mounting point is going to be. And you want to balance everything where it's very close to being balanced front to back at that point. So when I hold this, it's almost perfectly level. And that's exactly where I want it. So the way I connect this is actually really simple. I just grab this, go here, it clicks, it's connected.
Show that again real quick.
Yep. So it goes from up here, and then it goes down to that nipple right there, and it just clicks in. That simple, it's connected. What's the advantage? If you go with some of the other quick releases they have, like they have a Kong, which is like a carabiner type thing, and then there's a string there, and then there's that, and then when you try to go really high, you have all these little clamps and clips that eat up all this space. This can go all the way up here, and I can have it really tall above my head. If I had the Kong set up with all those strings and dangly things, which I'll just show a link and show you an example or a picture, it's terrible. It eats up so much space. Plus, when you want to look at your monitor, you have all this stuff in front of it. That's why I like this quick release. It's really strong, it's durable. So we have this set up. Why is this EasyRig different than most? Well, this EasyRig is different because it has the spring on there. It has that Stabil arm, and it's a spring-loaded arm. So what that helps, it helps with bounce. You see how this moves. So then when I hold it and I walk and there's bounce, it is being transferred to the suspension and the whole setup. So what is that good for? That's actually good for movement, because then you could get smoother movements and it's eating up. So if you look here, you'll see this thing jiggling around and moving like crazy. It's just like a car where your suspension is moving, but you're smooth. So look up here again and pay attention and see how much it moves. And that's not being transferred over to the camera. I'm going to lock this off and show you the difference. So let me get that. There it is. It's locked off and it's stiff. Now what's going to happen is now when I walk, it's all transferring over. EasyRigs are not necessarily designed to be walking with them, because every step now does translate into here. And I'm walking aggressively, and we'll go back to the spring and I'll walk the same way and see what the camera does. And now I'll go back to the Stabil, and then I'm going to walk this way. You'll see there's a lot less shake. It's not as aggressive. Yes, you get a little, it all comes down to you stabilizing. But what's important when you set up your EasyRig is you want to make sure that wherever you set your camera, it stays. So when I lift it, it stays. I lower it, it stays. I lower it more, it stays. I lift it up high, it stays. So where the Kong clamps would come in handy, giving you that extra length, with this MiniMax, it doesn't go down too far. It's very limited on that. So it comes to about here. So normally if you wanted to go lower, you'd have to drop down. But if you want to extend that so you can get lower shots while standing straight up, that's where it does come in handy. But for me, I prefer to have that height because that's where you get worn out the most. And you can have that height up here or all the way up here. Works out perfect. So you want to make sure when you adjust it, it stays. The way you adjust it is back here, and you have that knob there. And you loosen or tighten that depending on the payload you have in the range. So that way when you adjust your camera, it stays where you want it. So it's helping keep it in place and keep that load off of your hands, because that's what wears you out more than anything, is holding a camera like this in front of you, above you, down low for extended periods of time. Now I could just do this, and a good trick is to kind of turn sideways. You're holding it, you have 3 points, 4 points of contact at this point. You'll have here, you're holding the camera so you can make your adjustments if you have another handle. You have the EasyRig here, you have your hand on the other side, and then your body. Now you have 4 points of contact, and you can be real steady. You adjust your monitor, and when you let go, you still have 3 points of contact, so you can make adjustments on the camera or hit some buttons as needed. You could also do it this way. You could always do it to the shoulder. Sometimes they'll say, hey, let's do a quick interview. Good, stand here and you're rock solid. And you can let go with one hand and it's just floating there and it's ready to go and it's nice and smooth. Oh, we got to do some B-roll. Okay, I'm ready. Now, if they say, hey, we want to do some walking, that's where you get this guy in, and then you start doing some walking and you could get those extra smooth shots. Will they be as good as a gimbal? No, it's not designed for that, but does it help take the edge off of everything? Yes, and that's where everything comes to play, and it makes it so much better. You could keep your straight posture so you're not slouched over, hurting your back, and you could just stand there nice and straight and get the shots you need and really focus on your health, your back health, your shoulders, your arms, your hips, everything. Because this transfers the weight down to your legs, it really helps out a lot. Your legs are going to be a lot stronger most of the time than your back when you're slouched over like this. So instead of slouching over because you're getting tired, now you just stand strong, hold it steady, and you could go all day. So we're going to do some test runs. We have a little obstacle course here. We're going to run along the line. I'm going to do it in a few different ways. I'm going to go straight handheld. I'm going to go with it locked off, and then I'm going to go with the Stabil engaged. So first thing we're going to do is we're going to go handheld, and I'm going to just kind of run around all over the place, have the camera going up and stuff. And the reason I'm doing this is because normally on a shoot, you're going to be moving around and then you're going to be needing to get a smooth shot. So it's not going to be super easy because everyone's like, oh, let me show you how smooth I can walk. And then they walk one time. Me, I'm going to get my heart rate up. I was already running around. I ran a marathon before I did this, and now I'm going to try it. Here we go. Hey, can you get that smooth shot? Yeah, sure. All right, here we go. All right, so I got that smooth shot. I cheated. You know how I cheated? I had my stabilizer left on. So I'm gonna turn that off. No stabilization now. Now's the real test. So camera's not stabilized, the lens is not stabilized. Whew. Okay, let's get that smooth shot. You didn't do good first time, you gotta do it again. We're at 35 millimeters because when you're super wide, it's real easy. I want to do 35 to make it a little bit of a challenge. Okay, so now I've landed. So I'm gonna see how long I could hold this steady after landing on the subject. I think I just tasted some of my lunch. Shouldn't have ate before this, but it's okay. All right, now let's do the EasyRig. Come on over and check it out with me real quick. Show you me slapping it on. We'll go locked off first. That's the thing, when you're at an event, man, you're running around. There's no perfect conditions. You're dry heaving, it's hot, sun's cooking you. This is winter in Texas, it's hot. It's hot, and it's hot. So you just gotta be prepared. It's not the best of circumstances, and that's where the EasyRig is going to shine. It's going to help you. So I have it locked off. There we go. So this is the locked off test. Clicking it in, it's ready to go. And now I'm gonna try it locked off and go walking with it, and then we'll land at the end. I could feel the bumps. Yeah, this is not good. I'm not supposed to walk with an EasyRig like this. All right, let's lock off our shot now at the end. All right, so locked it off, we're good. Obviously, like I said earlier, walking with this, it's going to bounce. So you have to be aware of that. Now, I was breathing a little hard. You can hear it. So when I was talking about that fourth point where it goes against your body, if you're breathing hard, that's gonna affect your shot if your stomach is moving in and out, or your chest or your body. So that's where you could separate it from your body and still breathe. And it's not really going to transfer over. So let's try the next setup. Now we're going to engage the spring to make everything a little bit smoother. So I got into a habit that I normally get into when we land on something, or when I land on something, instead of trying to be completely locked off, I try to have a little bit of a sway and some movement. Just feels a little more natural. So sometimes I'm moving my hips. So then those micro movements end up turning into just smooth movements. And the way to explain it is, if you're on a lake and it's real choppy and you're bouncing, it's really bad, versus when the waves are really smooth and you don't notice them. So I want it to be smooth. So sometimes while I'm going and I'm filming something and it's a locked off shot, I sometimes have a little bit of movement because it brings it to life. This is standing still, so I will bring it to life by just having a little bit of movement, transferring the weight from one leg to another. And I was doing that for a second there, then I tried it locked off. So what are the advantages of the different setups? Handheld, handheld by itself looked great, and it could be the smoothest one, but can you do that all day nonstop without your arms just going nuts? Now, if I had to be locked off and just sitting still all day, and I'm facing right here, and this is Garrett, and I'm filming him, well, you know what? I'm gonna zoom in on him now and zoom in on his hands, and I'm at 105 millimeters with no stabilization, and this is what it looks like. Can you do that and be that locked off and steady? Those are things to consider, but this saves your back, because right now I'm sitting straight up and down with a good posture, and I'm looking over at Garrett, and I know he's struggling. Me, I could move around and film him without issue, and this is me moving around right now with the spring on. And you see, once you start doing movements like this and it's more natural and you're covering stuff, you start to lose those little jitters. And then if we go super wide to 24, it's even less. So, you know, the more zoomed in you are, the more likely it's going to have shake.
Now let's compare the results. This is at regular speed, and then we will slow it down to 40%. One of the main things I noticed right off the bat is with the handheld, I'm slouched over a lot more compared to the EasyRig, and after a long day, that will cause problems and pain in my back. Let's take a look from the front, and this is at regular speed. And one thing you'll notice, if you look up top at the MiniMax version, just with it locked off, you can see a lot of shake on the EasyRig. And then if we play it back in slow motion at 40% speed, you could see it very clearly. The MiniMax with stable engage has a lot less shake and wobble. So it is stabilizing the camera and the actual camera movements. So out of the three, I think the MiniMax just engage normal gives the most shake. And here you could see the results for yourself. Now, what's the conclusion? The EasyRig in its regular form is not designed to be walked with. It is a camera support, but it will transfer that shake into the camera. So the handheld and the MiniMax with stable engaged have a similar look. I would say that it would take a little more practice to get the MiniMax with stable be as stable as the handheld, but over a long day, you won't be able to keep that stabilization. And then this is where the MiniMax and the MiniMax with stable perform best. You could see it slowed down here. The handheld has quite a bit of movement compared to the MiniMax and the MiniMax with stable engaged. And you can see how smooth it is. And that's where the EasyRig performs best, is standing still.
I wanted to exaggerate that shake and show you what it looked like at 35 millimeters. Now I'm gonna go back and do it at 24 and show you the difference between all of them. And I'm just mixing it up. There's nothing scientific about this. So I'm moving to my next spot, and that's what's cool is I'm not holding the weight of the camera. It's just ready to go. And now I'm gonna walk with it at 24. So how about this? You are gonna walk with me, Garrett, and you're going to be just slightly off so you don't trip over that camera, and we're gonna walk together. Okay. And you're gonna face me. You're walking backwards. So we're gonna do a test and see how well you do, okay? And I'm gonna actually get on this side. Shadows. Perfect, yep. For me, it'll be a little easier. I don't have to switch. And I'm gonna do 24, and you're gonna walk backwards to try to film me, and I'm going to film you. 24? You can do 24, yeah, let's match it up, yeah. Okay, face off. And in 3, 2, 1, go. You don't have stabilization on, do you?
No, I don't think so.
All right, so that's me with the stabilized arm. Let's start again, and I'll go handheld. We already know that the EasyRig with the fixed arm is going to jiggle. Okay, quick disconnect, click, click. Ah! All right, here we go, and action.
Without Garrett right there, this video would be a lot less dynamic. So thanks so much, Garrett, for jumping in and chasing me around and being a team player. You can see Garrett's content on his YouTube channel, linked down in the description. Here's a look at both of them side by side. Without scrolling back in the video, which one do you think is the handheld and which one do you think is the EasyRig? Let me know down in the comments. Just say left side EasyRig, left side handheld, whichever one you think is which. I think they're pretty close, and with a little more practice and a little more effort, they could be very, very similar. But after a long day, I'd rather be running the EasyRig than be running handheld nonstop.
All right, so that was not complicated, but I'm already feeling a little bit of tension in my arm just holding this that short amount of time. And normally right now, if I had the EasyRig, I could release and it's just taking the weight. Because no matter what, this weight is on my legs at all times, whether I'm holding it here or I'm holding it through the EasyRig. The only added weight is the EasyRig itself, which would you prefer to have a little weight on your legs or stretched out on your arms? I'd probably want it towards my legs in general. So this makes me want to put the camera down because it's becoming heavy. Normally it would just float.
All right, let's get to the real discussion. This is always the thing that comes up. When you talk about an EasyRig, the first thing that's mentioned is like, oh my gosh, they're very expensive. They are not cheap. They are not inexpensive by any means. But then again, I'm going to contradict myself and say, yes, they are inexpensive. They are a high price point to get them, but the rewards are tenfold. If you were to hurt your back from carrying a camera in front of you too long or off to the side too long, putting pressure on your shoulders, your arms, your upper back, your lower back over long periods of times over and over and over, it could result in injury. Injury can mean temporarily out of work, long-term out of work, surgeries, all kinds of things. Are those worth the investment, or should you invest, especially if you're a lot younger, before you get older and start having those issues? A lot of people will look at the older guys as, man, they're just complaining. They don't know what they're talking about. They're just getting old. That's why they're falling apart. No, they're falling apart because they've been in the industry doing exactly what you're doing, and they've been broken down. Quit doing it. Listen to the older guys. When they tell you get an EasyRig or get a camera support, go out and get one. Okay? Don't get something that looks cool or the latest piece of gear that just is flashy. You know what? I would rather have an EasyRig than a fancy camera cart. You hear me. Okay? I'll go get a $100 Rubbermaid cart and use it instead of spending $2,000 to $3,000 to $4,000 on a cart. Yes, a cart can get stuff in, and guess what? You could even get a mag liner convertible cart, regular one off of Facebook Marketplace for next to nothing, and that will bring your gear in. Will you look as cool? No, but you know what? You're not going to be walking around like this from your back hurting because someone wants you to run 8 hours straight with a heavy load all day long filming and getting content. So yes, it is worth the investment. Make the right choice. I was on the fence at the beginning, and right now I preach as much as I can. I actually own 2 EasyRigs. I have the smaller MiniMax version you've just watched me use, and I have a bigger one when I need bigger payloads. They are worth the investment. Now, I want to know what you like to use to stabilize your footage. Are you one of those people that says, you know what, I just use a monopod, that's easier for me. I have an off-brand EasyRig. Oh my gosh, it's so great because I paid 20 bucks for it and my camera smashes down on the concrete every other time I use it. It's so amazing. I want to know what you like to use and what your opinion is on EasyRigs in general. Let me know down in the comments. Thank you so much for making it this far in the video. I really appreciate you. I really appreciate everyone that likes, comments, and has subscribed to the channel. It means a lot, and it pushes me to make more content like this and get more stuff out to you guys so you can enjoy it. Also, quick reminder, YouTube recommends you watch this video. I think you'll like this one better. Thank you so much, and I'll see you on the next one.